Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to call this meeting of the Natchez Mayor and Board of Aldermen to order. I'll ask everyone to please stand for our word of prayer. This morning, I have asked Juana Williams, who does such a good job for us in workforce development, to provide our prayer, and then following our prayer, we'll have our pledge.
Yes. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Father, we thank you. Father, we thank you this morning for allowing us to come together, dear God, in your name and under your name. Father, we thank you for continuing to cover our city, for covering our mayor and our board of aldermen, dear God, for covering our department heads, dear God, and all the employees who works tirelessly for this city, dear God. Their work is not in vain, Father. We pray that you continue to be the God that you are yesterday, today, and tomorrow, dear God, with blessings and blessings and blessings that we pray you continue to bestow on the city of Natchez. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Let us now join together in our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We'll ask the clerk to administer the roll call.
Alderwoman Hall.
Here.
Alderman Frazier. Alderwoman Smith.
Here.
Alderwoman Irving. Alderman Davis.
Here.
Alderman Maroney.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. We'll now move to the approval of minutes, Madam Clerk.
Yes, first set of minutes is the regular board meeting of March 25th, 2025.
What was the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion. We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Okay, the second and final set of minutes for approval is the special called board meeting held on March 28th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion. Call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Our next item will be Department Directors' Reports. Mr. James Johnston, Community Development Director, you are recognized. And I'm looking for Mr. Johnston. We will come back to him shortly. Megan, if you check by text, see where Mr. Johnston is. Next, we'll have Tawana Williams, Director of Workforce Development. And Ms. Williams, thank you for that beautiful prayer this
You
morning.
are very welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
So the first item on my agenda is, because I have my own agenda. Permission to apply to Central Mississippi Planning and Development District for a workforce grant totaling $1,107,855.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by, it didn't take long to get a motion on that one. Alderman Davis and seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion. Ms. Williams, if you'd like to share more about the grant.
I sure will. In the update, if that's okay, down a few bullets. Okay, very good. Permission to enter into a new half-year contract with Lamar Billboard. We currently have.
I'm sorry. Oh, you're going to, wait, no, we have to have a vote.
Oh,
While we're talking about
That's
the
right.
grant, we need
Mhm.
to have some information about the grant now before we
Okay.
can vote. Okay,
so.
sorry about that.
No problem at all. You all want more detail about it before I go
Yes.
down? Okay.
Before we can vote.
Okay, so the grant is through Central Mississippi Planning and Development District. However, it is administered through Accelerate Mississippi. It's called the Mississippi Reconnect Grant. And so what they've done in the past few years is actually float this grant around to community colleges. Well, because we're now doing a building trades program, and building trades is actually one of the priority areas for Accelerate Mississippi. They have noticed what we've been doing here in the city of Natchez, and they had reached out to me to ask that we apply for this funding. And so they want to do something different, not necessarily just have it go through the community college now, but actually through the city of Natchez.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
That's great. Well, that's exciting news. Any discussion, questions, Alderwoman Smith?
Yes, Ms. Higgins, is there a match on this grant?
There is no match on this grant.
All right.
And I would like to say this grant would allow us to run electrical, carpentry, masonry, plumbing, and heavy equipment operators program. And we're talking about doing that at Colin, but with us going over there, we're running out of space. So I'll talk about that in a second.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. With that said, I'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Next item,
Next item, permission to enter into a new half-year contract with Lamar Billboard. So you all know we currently have a workforce development billboard, and we've had it for 6 months. And so ideally, we wanted to be able to have it for an additional 6 months, but that was contingent on funding. And now that we do have new funding, I'll talk about that in a second, I would like to do another 6 months. And that's going to total $4,440 for 6 months, or $740 monthly. And so I would need permission to enter into another agreement with them, and it will run from April. It will be advertised from April to October 2025.
do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Davis, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderwoman
you say
Hall.
you have new funding for that? So where's that
Yes.
funding coming from?
In my workforce update, DRA, a new grant that we just
Well,
received
can you explain where the funding for this program, for the billboard is coming from?
from the DRA grant. So we do have a new Delta Regional Authority grant that we've just been approved for, and it's in the sum of $300,000. And so we do have marketing funds. in
All
there.
right, thank you. Any further discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Next item,
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is permission to hire Francis Ransom Jr. as the carpentry instructor. Now, we have hired an electrical instructor, Reverend Willie Ellis, and he is doing an excellent job with our students. So we have an option here to go ahead into a plumbing program. This is under the current DRA grant that we have. We're either going to go into plumbing next or carpentry. And as you all can imagine, it's pretty difficult to find professional practitioners who would be willing to come and teach Mondays through Thursdays in the morning and in the evenings for us. So we found Mr. Francis Ransom Jr., and we're asking for permission to contract with him as we did our other instructor, which is Mr. Willie Ellis, at the same rate of pay, which is $30 an hour, which is $3,120 monthly. So something to note here, though, it won't necessarily be a contract as long as electrical, because all of the building trades programs have X amount of months that in which they operate.
well, before we can proceed, we will need a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Davis. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Hear more.
Yeah,
Sarah.
I'm not getting a second on this motion at the
Okay.
moment. I do think, and I've had a couple comments that we have some aldermen that want more discussion and may
Okay.
want to take this under advisement today.
Okay,
Okay,
no problem.
I
Mr.
will.
Mayor, I move we take this particular request from Mrs. Williams under advisement.
Okay, Alderwoman Hall has made that motion. Do I have a second to take it under advisement? Yeah. Alderman Maroney has seconded that motion. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. I think there will be some clarification, though.
Okay,
These instructors are paid under our grant.
yes, they are.
They are also contracted employees. They are not actual employees with PERS and other benefits
No, they're not.
under the city.
They're
I want to make
1099.
sure that is understood.
Right.
Alderwoman Smith, you have a question?
Who supervises them and who are they? I don't understand why the city is this entity. I mean, I know we have the grant. We
Right,
can use
right.
the grant for different things, but I'm just confused on
What,
this.
will you ask that question again?
Who supervises them? Where do they work?
Okay. So it actually leads to some more discussion in the workforce grant. So in the workforce update. So what we're doing, they are housed at Colin, and myself and Ms. Rogers are currently supervising them because we have to manage the entire program. So we've created all types of documents for the students, guidelines for them to follow, and also our instructor. They have an agreement, and of course we have day-to-day contact with them to ensure that things are going well. And so there are some policies and procedures in place to ensure that the program goes well. It's almost just like operating at a college. And as the program continues to grow with adding new building trades programming, it gets more intense because that's a lot more people.
And what was the salary?
The salary is $3,120 per month based on how many months they are actually teaching.
And how many classes is that? How many hours?
Ooh, well, he actually instructs face-to-face 20 hours. However, there's some hybrid studying where the students go home. He's only paid for the one-on-one in the classroom. But of course, the students have homework and they have testing that they have to do, but he's paid for 20 hours. Mhm.
Call the question.
All right, the question's been called. We will proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Just,
Second?
this is to take it under advisement.
This is to take it under
Yeah, I
advisement.
seconded it. Yeah.
All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. And we'll follow up. We'll have
Okay.
more discussion on that
Okay,
between now and the next meeting. At that time, continue with your report.
all right.
Now finally, the update.
Yes, the update. So the grant from Delta Regional Authority that we were just awarded, we were awarded $300,000. The mayor was just able to sign that grant agreement, so we'll hear more from DRA this week. But that grant is to provide workforce development training to dislocated workers, veterans, and reentry persons. We'll also offer coding, of course, building trades, and ideally, we would like to provide CDL training to this particular population. What is happening with Colin right now, I believe their CDL program is going to start back in June. We don't have a current active CDL program right now because WIOA funds will not allow for tuition to be paid from them to the student now. So it's about $2,500 that has to be paid from that student or they won't be able to attend. And so that's been a major barrier. So I would like to ensure in our DRA grant, even through modification, that we're able to provide some slots for CDL training because we still have a huge deficit in this country. And I know that that particular skill set is highly sought after. And persons coming out of being in prison, also dislocated workers and veterans, they would love an opportunity to become a CDL driver.
I think that's wonderful. And I want to just say this is exciting news when everybody thought that, that funds were starting to slow down, and they are,
Yeah.
from our federal government
Right.
for the city of Natchez to receive. And we just signed, as you said, just last week, signed the award document to receive another $300,000 zero match workforce development award through the Delta Regional Authority is quite significant. And we are so grateful. We started this program, if everyone will recall, from scratch
Yes.
at
I
the beginning of our administration. Started a whole new department, everything from scratch.
From scratch.
And because of these grants, we have now, in the 5th year of our administration, enjoyed seeing this continue to be fully funded. And
Yes,
so we're very grateful. We are.
absolutely.
That's good news.
It is good news.
Thank you.
You're
We'll
welcome.
back to you for
Okay.
your continuation of your report.
All right. So, and continuing my report, a press release regarding the $300,000 should go out later this week. Mayor will be sure to connect with you before that. So back to the Mississippi Reconnect Grant. I think it's important to note that we are now targeting 150 persons that will actually populate these classes by June of this year. We don't have long. This is April. And so we're wanting to advertise, of course, that these classes are available. We have, the last I checked, we had 68 people to sign up for electrical. So although we have an electrical track running now that has 27 people enrolled, that will graduate at the end of the month, we still have almost 40 to start a new electrical program. So that just kind of speaks to the community wanting the building trades. We've had them even add themselves to the plumbing list. We have plumbers that are waiting. And for me, we thought that it was kind of a taboo topic. Nobody want to be a plumber, so we thought, but they do. So they're getting the information that these are good paying jobs. And if they were to be trained in a short period of time, as we're doing, they're going to be able to have way more than a livable wage. Also, the Mississippi Reconnect grant is also important to note that it is a 1-year grant. But when I've talked to them, they said not to worry about that because more than likely, it's going to automatically renew. But it is a 1-year grant for the $1 million. And I know you're like, well, what are you going to do with $1 million in 1 year? Well, this program actually allows for stipends at $10 an hour to be paid to the 150 persons that are enrolled for the duration of their time enrolled. So a lion's share of funding, over $700,000, is going towards stipends, and about $99,000 for instructors. So that's where we are right now with that.
And that's outstanding because most people are inhibited from being able to take a class to further themselves
Yes.
because they're already holding down a full-time job,
Mhm.
and the loss of those wages is impossible for them to bear financially.
That's right.
So this is a great step forward
All
for our
free.
community.
Absolutely.
A huge opportunity. On top of the fact that we have all of these other programs now developing that offer free
All for free.
instruction.
Yes. It's a big deal. We do have a couple of challenges I would like to note. I mentioned space. We are currently on Colin's campus. We've met with Dr. Goodwin. We've met with Ms. Woods, who's Director of Career Technical. We have discussed possibly putting some buildings on the property so that shop would be able to be provided on the property for all of the programming. Another option, and I have not talked to Natchez Adams School District, but to consider Robert Magnet School. At this juncture, we're talking about 5 programs with numerous tracks running back to back, and that's a lot of people. So we're also talking about numerous instructors. We have an electrical instructor. Well, we need another electrical instructor, and we're going to need another one very soon. So we're needing to have at least 3 instructors in a pool for every trade that we're offering. So I said all that to say we're looking at Colin, but we also need to be looking at some other space. And I noticed that Robert Magnet had some foundational issues, is what I was told. However,
Yes, it does.
a good part of that building, they said, was still good and can possibly be used. So I would like to explore that a little further. Mhm. Second challenge, recruitment of qualified instructors. We're actually targeting retired professionals for these building trades. You all know that the practitioners that are not retired, they're not going to make the small dollar amount that the instructors are making, the retired instructors. They're actually going to be making somewhere upwards of $40 to $50 an hour. And so our instructors are only being paid $30 an hour. And so that's why we are targeting them, because they're going to be easier to actually contract with, being that they're both retired and available. So just wanted to note that.
Oh, this is,
Mr. Mayor,
Alderwoman,
I think for any entity in the city or county, for us to have discussions on entering their buildings, I think the mayor needs to be involved in those discussions, or somebody at City Hall, or
Okay.
in the city government. And we don't want to use any buildings that are unsafe for
Right.
anyone. We
Yes.
don't want any buildings that are unsafe for
Okay.
anyone.
Yes. Got it.
thank you.
Also, I just wanted to say that our instructors, when they're coming on board, again, they're retired, so they're kind of used to doing things the old school way. So we're having to develop a program to onboard our retired instructors. And they also have to, we have to navigate them through the Build Mississippi NCCER certification in order for them to be able to provide certifications to the students. So that's just part of what we're having to do to secure our instructors. It is a very difficult process. On to the next bullet. We're conducting a building trades ribbon cutting ceremony on April 28th at 11 o'clock at Colin. Again, we'll be graduating 27 students who are currently enrolled in core, which is the prerequisite for electrical level 1. It's the basics of construction. And they will begin electrical level 1 after graduation, which will be the first week in May, in which electrical level 1 will begin. I believe you all may have already received an invitation via email with Ms. Rogers, so we hope you all.
And what time is that?
It's going to be at 11 a.m. and we have it on your calendar, Mayor.
Right. All right.
Next item, and I'm almost done. The new DRA grant that we've received for $300,000 allows for the hiring of a new program coordinator that we desperately need, if you could imagine. We are conducting events, job fairs, roundtables, participation in community fairs, implementing new concepts, community engagement, social media updates, website updates, content, all of that. That's really for one person. We need someone who is focusing on events and someone who is focusing on managing the programs, which again is a lot a day-to-day. Has nothing to do with the back office administrative work, the troubleshooting, cultivating new relationships with our partners, and developing new partnerships. And that brings me to a point that I just want to stick a pin right there. I think it's time that we start to engage our employers more in sustaining the workforce development department. We are certainly training persons who will be able to work in these, different industries and in these companies. But they're having conversations with us that we like to hear. It sounds like they want to invest and we want them to. So we want to start a conversation with our employers about helping us to sustain workforce development. It's one thing to build it, but it has to be sustained. And we know we cannot sustain it simply by grants. We'd have local support through the school board, the city, of course, and the supervisors. We also have state support and federal support, but we need our employers to now start supporting us more. And lastly, media and marketing. It is going well. Our Facebook page continues to grow. It's very active. Of course, we're getting traffic to the Natchez Workforce Development page, website, And of course, employers are calling us from both sides of the river. Soon we plan to start using radio advertisement more and digital marketing ads to announce to of course, advertise our upcoming programs. And I wanted to add that the Building Trades program is certainly making a lot of noise across the state of Mississippi. We were so excited that we got attention from Super Talk Mississippi, the top radio in the state. And so they're looking at us and we're excited about it because we hope that we could talk more about what's going on with building trades in the city of Natchez. And that's all I have.
All right.
If that's not enough.
I'm going to say, Ms. Williams, I think it's outstanding.
Thank you.
We've come from zero to this. And it definitely is following through on what our vision has been all along and
Yes.
our ambition has been all along.
Absolutely.
For our community and for the Miss Lou to
Yes.
see people getting hands up so that they can further themselves
Yes.
and go into these fields, electrical,
Mhm.
carpentry, plumbing. We have a shortage of those talents in our community.
Yes. All of them.
And those who are willing to get certified and get this education,
Yes.
in many cases, will make more
Yes.
than the average college graduate
They will.
upon their graduation. So
Absolutely.
thank you for all you've done.
You were very welcome.
And thank you, Ms. Rogers. Do we have any comments, discussion? I know that we'll encourage our members of the Board of Aldermen to have visits with you and
Yes.
get
Please.
more information, and
Mhm.
we'll look forward to more good news to come.
Thank you.
Congratulations on another grant
Thank you so much.
and
Thank
another
you.
one in the works. All right, we're going to now go back to Mr. Johnston, Director of Community Development. Good morning.
Sorry for my tardiness. I was going to present the bids that we received at 10 o'clock today for the Silver Street Brick Retaining Wall Rehab Project. I'd
Yeah,
like to table that to the next board meeting.
okay. All right, we don't need a motion to do that. Do you have anything further on your
No,
report
sir.
today? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnston.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnston, that's the first, that's historical.
Well, a couple of
Never
things
had
were
a-
also
no.
running a little
Not
late
ever
as
had
well,
before.
so there will be a few more next time. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Dollar, Justin Dollar, Public Works, you're now recognized.
Good morning, Mayor and
Good
Board.
morning.
The first thing on the agenda this morning is I have two vehicles that would like to surplus and be able to auction. The first vehicle is vehicle unit number 2027. It's a 2006 Ford Crown Vic. Current mileage is 165,037. The VIN number on that particular vehicle is 2FAFP74V56X13017. It's the first vehicle. And the second vehicle is unit number 2026. It's a 2013 Ford Focus. The VIN number on it is 1FAD3F22DL2888511. Seeking permission today to surplus both of these vehicles.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderman Davis.
Mr. Mayor.
Discussion, Alderwoman Hall.
Yes, sir. I talked with Mr. Attorney. I am on the Public Health Safety team here for Adams County,
Yes.
and they are in need of a vehicle to transport individuals who are seeking treatment for substance abuse. And I would like for us to donate one of these vehicles to this safety team for that very purpose, for transportation.
All right. I think we need to surplus them first, and then we can discuss your idea
Okay, thank you.
in form of a motion.
Yes.
I will call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Alderwoman Hall, I will entertain your motion at this time.
Yes, sir. I would like to move that our VIN number, or Mr. Dollar, you have any preference to either vehicle that?
So for me, of course, it doesn't matter which one you want. What I would say on both of these is, for the most part, when we get rid of something, it's nothing left.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm being quite honest.
I understand
Now, the
that.
Ford Crown Vic needs a pile of work. We've got it parked. We're not currently using it just because it needs so much work. It's not worth what it needs to be put into it. Not to say that someone, if they have a mechanic that wants to work on it, wants to put the money into it, that they want to, certainly they could. The 2013 Ford Focus was the planning car. That particular car, if I remember correctly, needs an ABS module, and they no longer offer that product. Ford is no longer manufacturing that.
Okay.
Therefore, we haven't been able to get it. It's been sitting for the last 6 months just because we can't. We've even checked with third-party suppliers that could maybe make that module, and we have not been able to obtain that.
Okay, thank you.
Not saying that it
I
couldn't
understand.
potentially be done. That's what we've ran into at this point with these
Okay, thank you. Well,
vehicles.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make the motion that unit 2027-2006 Ford Crown Vic, VIN number 2FAFP74V56X130117, mileage 165,037 miles, be donated to the Adams County Public Health Safety Team for transportation purposes.
Second.
All right, motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall and seconded by Alderman Davis. My first question would be for the attorney to speak to this.
In my opinion, Mr. Mayor, the city can donate the surplus vehicle. However, based on Mr. Dollar's representation, it's questionable whether or not the vehicle has any monetary value.
Alderwoman
Yeah, I just
Smith?
wasn't sure that we could do that. I thought somebody had to pay something, like even if it's $1, but I could be
A
wrong.
dollar.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we need to check on it pending the
Could we,
double check.
could we
I
take
can
this
change my
under,
motion or take it under.
could we take it under advisement? Because we haven't actually, it's the first I've heard about it right now. And I think, I would think the alderman might want more information before they actually vote to do that,
Sure,
just to be sure.
sure.
Okay? So if we could, I'll entertain a motion to table the motion until,
I'll change the
Further
motion to
information.
change this until further information, until our next. board
okay,
meeting.
motion has been
Until the
made to
next board
table.
meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion. We'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. The motion is tabled, and then we can bring it back next meeting. Thank you, Alderwoman
You're
Hall.
welcome.
Just so I'm
yes,
clear
Mr.
on this,
Dollar.
the correction, for clarity, the intentions are to bring this back at the next meeting. And-
Yeah, I would
But I'm just saying for
definitely,
us to know what to do with. the
I would
land.
definitely place a hold
What is
on
it?
Unit
We
2027
won't do anything.
until we resolve that question.
Okay.
And, because that motion is tabled, but it is still pending. Should it be brought back again? So, Mr. Dollar, next
Okay.
item.
The next item on the agenda is discussion of the Homachita and Canal Street overlay project. Just to provide everyone an update, we had a meeting end of last week, April the 4th, I think it was Friday. And we met with engineering firm Volkert, APAC, and Theobald, who is the general contractor that holds our contract for that particular project. We submitted a report to them with our findings, whether that be deficiencies in visual appearance and the density reports to that. So we met last week to discuss those, to look at ways and options of what we're going to do moving forward. At this time, they have given us no indication of any objection to that report that we submitted them. And they are working to get some things in order. Currently looking at the last week of April, the first week of May is when they intend to move back in to mill and overlay these deficient areas that have been outlined in the report.
Okay, all right. That's great
Thank
news.
you.
I want to underscore the fact that this is at no additional cost to the city.
No.
And that has been our goal all along. We have on numerous occasions informed the public of the challenges we have encountered with this project going back to last December. And without litigation, without any prolonged argument, we now are excited that we can move forward in an amicable manner with the contractor to make sure the final product is what the citizens of Natchez expect and deserve.
That's correct.
So thank you for all of your hard work. Mr. Dollar, I want to thank you because of you from day one when we encountered these issues. We, the city, have never backed down, and you have never let up, that the ultimate job has to be the best job. And so thank you for all that you've done behind the scenes. And I want to thank Mr. Lazarus and James Johnston, and our Mayor Pro Tem, Sarah Carter Smith, has been involved in this very delicate and ongoing issue for some time. And you've offered a lot of great advice and help. And so Alderman Smith, thank you for that. And all
Mayor.
others, this is a good report. Alderwoman Hall?
While Mr. Dollar's still here, I have requested asphalt on several areas in the city within the last month that have been needing asphalt for about 5 months since the death of Mr. Haney. I see they're working now near my Maple and Oak Street, but nothing has been done to 19 Eastwood Lawn. And now there is a deep crevice where some of that gravel is, and this man can't even enter and exit his
So I
driveway.
don't know, let me see, in regards to exactly what you're speaking of, sounds to me like it's a utility patch.
Some of these were waterworks.
Okay, so that bears to answer the question.
Mhm.
As many, I know as we've talked a few times since the passing of Mr. Hensley,
Excuse me, Mr. Hensley.
yeah, since the passing of Mr. Hensley, which who did a lot of our small utility patch asphalt work, we have struggled to find a company that can provide those services or willing to provide those services. I know that sounds like, well, there'll be plenty of people beating their doors down wanting to do that. That has not been the case, and we have spoken to a number of contractors over the last year, trying to get to a point. Just week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we were meeting, taking general bids, and a contractor came in that was providing a price on larger asphalt type work. And while there, I did speak with him and see if he had any interest in submitting anything in regards to this. And he said, yes, he'd be happy to do so. He did. We accepted it under our prices, and he has already been in and finished the list that I had through our department. He completed those last week. Did a great job. Now, I know on Waterworks, theirs is a little more in depth. The list is a little longer, and they had some prior things in place that they are trying to work through before the trying to see how to say this before they make a decision of how they're going to move forward.
Okay.
So hopefully, and I haven't talked to Jeff in a few days or since last week about this, but he was looking to make some arrangements to try to get those in place. And I think once that happens, you're going to see a number of these areas. I think they had over almost 50 areas, I think is what he said, that were in need of patching. Those could be anywhere from a 2x2 to a 10x10 area from where repairs have been made.
Okay, thank
So-
you.
If you would provide me that address, I'll be happy to look into it.
I'll give it to you again.
Also.
You have it.
Thank you, Alderman Hall. Thank you so much. If you've given it to me, I've overlooked it. I do
Okay,
apologize because I have so many who provide me those addresses, but we'll be happy to look into it again. All right, Mr. Dollar,
That's all I have.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
absolutely.
so
Thank
much. And again, that is a great report on Canal and Homatis Street. It's not every day that the city gets to do such a major job and to know now that that job is going to be done correctly. Oh, I've got to say this, though. We are very grateful to Theobald Construction for working with us and also for our own local provider, APAC, for stepping up and assisting the city during this situation. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We'll now proceed to the city official reports. Alderwoman Hall, you're
I just have
recognized.
one more. We've addressed the public health safety team and the asphalt. So I do want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the city's support on the symposium on race that was held this past Saturday at the convention center. We did have 150 people in attendance, and the Baroni family were very, very pleasantly surprised because they did not think anyone would come to hear about their mother, their father, and what they went through in the civil rights era. So we're very pleased with that turnout. And I do want to thank our anonymous sponsors who helped us with our lunch, our snacks, our drinks for that day, and the Maroney family in particular. Since we have been in office, we have been saying we are telling our whole story from Civil War, slavery, to civil rights. However, no one has wanted to talk about what white people did for the Black members of this community in civil rights. And this was our time to do that. The Baroni family suffered immensely. Their children suffered immensely because of the work of their parents to fight for the rights and dignity of Black people in this community and across the state of Mississippi. So I'm glad we did have this opportunity to talk about this family. The children are a very, very humble group of people. who do not want attention drawn to them. But they allowed me to proceed with this program, and we did it together as a team. And they're very, very pleased that also Mr. Tony Byrne, former Mayor Tony Byrne, stayed the entire day. They were not expecting that. Neither were they expecting you to come or stay, Mr. Mayor. So they were very, very pleased with that. They appreciated that very much. And they too were pleased with the turnout. We have received many, many positive comments about this past day. Many people want us for this to continue. Hopefully it will, but we're very, very grateful. I'm very grateful for the support we received. So thank you. And I want to thank Dr. Hardy for her assistance in our lunch preparations and what she did for the marker. And there is a marker that was unveiled by the children and the family, grandchildren of Mr. and Mrs. Baroni at 503 Monroe Street, Saturday. So when you get a chance, go by and read that marker that is dedicated to this family. So for us to say we want to tell our whole story, we will not ever tell our whole story until we include the white people who helped fight for Black people in this community and the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Hall. It was a fantastic event, and I was so honored to be there. Thanks for all you did. Alderwoman Smith, your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say congratulations on that. And was
Thank
it
you.
recorded for those of us that could not make it?
I'll see if it was. It was live. This was live Facebook from the city of Natchez. And Mid-South Broadcasting also broadcasted live through a feed from our Facebook. And Mid-South Broadcasting covers 250 million people. So we're very grateful to Jimmy Allgood as well at Mid-South Broadcasting for participating in this as well.
And I'd also like to wish Alderwoman Valencia Hall a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. to
Good
you.
young.
Happy
And I could ask
birthday.
you how many.
No, I'll tell you next year.
Oh, thank you. That concludes.
I'm gonna go to the application.
Thank you so much. All right. Alderman Davis, your report.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. My Fishing with the Falls event will be held June 14th at the State Park this year. We had about 100 some last year. Hopefully we can get 200, 300 this year. Also, and talk about workforce. I deal with the workforce development stuff daily, on a daily basis, because I work at Colin. I talk to Wynn Job Center, talk to Ms. Williams. I see what's going on. One thing I see, it's hard to get instructors. Like the school district it's hard for them to get instructors. Colin, hard to get instructors. For one thing, for example, like the specialist stuff, like carpenter welding, it's hard to get them type of instructors around here. Because Colin, it took them almost 2 years to get a decent instructor. I know it's gonna be hard to get certain instructors around here on stuff that we really need in this area. And but that's one of the reasons why I voted on that, because I talk to them daily, work, that's what I got my degree in workforce development, man. But yeah, and I see what they're going through around here in that specific area though. And but she's doing a good job, and so is this board, the mayor, everybody else. That's about it. All I want to talk about, because there's nothing else to talk about. We did everything, almost everything this year anyway.
Yeah.
But I pass on to Curtis over there.
Thank you, Alderman. All right, Alderman Curtis Maroney, your report.
We've got tonight at 6 o'clock a neighborhood watch meeting, but it's not just one neighborhood. It's kind of all encompassing for the entire city. Anyone from any ward is welcome to come. It happens to be in Ward 6. It's at Parkway Baptist Church upstairs in their Family Life Center, 6 o'clock. I believe the mayor's going to be there. I believe the chief of police is going to be there. We're going to be talking about crime, things like that. And anyone is welcome to come and encouraged to attend. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Alderman Maroney. Alderman Davis.
Oh yeah, baseball has started though. Time before. I've been at almost every game my grandson played. Also, this is the basketball league, which I coach in this league, basketball league here. And that's, I've been going back and forth, baseball and basketball lately.
That's great.
They play, if you want to come watch the basketball game, they play on Saturdays and Wednesdays.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And Alderman Maroney, please note, I will be there tonight. However, I have my radio show at 5:30. As soon as that concludes at 6, I'll be headed to the church. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll go back now to the city clerk. Madam Clerk, it is your report.
Thank you. And I left an updated report and attachment on your respective desk prior to the meeting. I had to add a couple of items last minute. But kind of going down the list, my first item is a request for approval of the first April 2025 claims docket.
So moved.
Okay. Alderwoman Hall has made the motion, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? I do want to ask this question just to make sure nothing on the claims docket in any way profits a member of the board or a member of the board's family.
No.
Thank you so much. Well, with no further discussion, we'll call for the question.
Well,
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Okay. Next item is a request for approval of the first April 2025 mini claims docket.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. Same thing. This in no way benefits any of any member or family member of any member of this board. Thank you. We'll call now for the vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Okay. Next item is a request for approval of the March 2025 personnel report.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? We'll call the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is a request for approval of a budget amendment, excuse me, to increase line item 126346637 from 68,000 to 135,000. This is in the recreation fund for the contract services for the Natchez Adams County Aquatic Center. And this increase will be covered by increasing the increased beginning balances for this fiscal year. Due to unspent monies from last fiscal year, the county fell behind on invoicing the city for our 1/2 of those expenses. So it's basically moving it from last fiscal year to the current fiscal year so that I can make that payment without going over budget this fiscal year.
So
All
moved.
right.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Okay, and final item is a request for approval of the payment to the county in the amount of $66,925.23 for the fiscal year 24 portion of the pool expenses that were not previously invoiced.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Alderwoman.
it is my hope that the county is current on their payments to us moving forward.
So on the attachment that I gave out with my updated report, it shows we're actually going to be making a total payment of $116,324. The remaining 49 and some change is for the current fiscal year, which would bring us current through March of 2025. I have been led to believe that the county does have a plan in place to maintain and keep this current moving forward.
Thank you so much. We will now call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Okay, that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. We'll now go to the attorney. Any report, Mr. Attorney?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. I do want to cover a couple of miscellaneous items on my report and also we will be having an executive session shortly to conduct some interviews for the interim judge appointment for our municipal court. We will, at the conclusion of those interviews, make an announcement. We will not be live at that point. However, anyone is welcome to stay for the announcement and to see if any other action is going to be taken by the board. Part of this, however, is we do need a motion today to appoint an interim public defender. The public defender, former Justice Court Judge Eileen Marr, resigned that position effective last Monday. We did ask a local attorney, Terrence Hunter, to fill in for her on Wednesday, and we want to make that appointment official today only on an interim basis until this board can appoint a new permanent public defender. So the motion would be to appoint Mr. Terrence Hunter, the interim public defender, effective the date of Judge Marr's resignation, which was last Monday.
So
Do I have a
moved.
motion? Alderwoman Smith has made the motion. Do I have a second? I will need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Alderman Maroney has seconded that motion. We'll have discussion. Alderwoman Smith.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Hunter. We're doing this. He had to step in last week because we didn't have any notice. And he had done it before, so he has the experience. I want to say how appreciative we were of a quick phone call and
Yeah,
absolutely
very
stepped
grateful.
up. So,
yeah, we have to make it official though today.
exactly.
Further discussion, we'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you. Miscellaneous updates. I do want to say that it's an exciting day in Natchez today. We have 4 American Cruise Lines boats here and 1 Viking Mississippi boat. We have 5 boats here today.
Everywhere.
And I'm having to dodge the buses. Everyone watch out. We got buses all over town. That's exciting. Another exciting thing, I understand that the Pilgrimage Garden Club has just concluded their portion of pilgrimage, and it has been a record turnout in terms of tourists, events, and people from all over the country coming to Natchez. That's been very good. And the Natchez Garden Club pilgrimage continues for the next couple of weeks here in Natchez. Homes that are on tour every day in addition to the regular tour homes that are open year round. So we're just really excited about our pilgrimage. It's a great thing. It goes back to 1932, and it has been a staple of tourism in Natchez ever since. The first city in America to have a pilgrimage. And I don't know what we do without it, understanding that tourism is our #1 industry and our #1 employer. And so kudos to all who have worked so hard. In addition to that, we have had a record number of events. It's been hard to keep up with all of them. And Alderwoman Hall, your event was fantastic on Saturday. In addition to that, we had many other events taking place. And I want to give a special shout out to Fred Marsalis, who had a great event this past weekend for his fitness program. And it is an event meant to bring the community together. Marla and I had the opportunity to visit with so many others at a black tie event on Saturday night. And it was possibly triple the number of people that were there last year, and equally attended by Black and white and other ethnic groups from across our community, both cities in the Missilou. Speaking of Vidalia and Natchez, Buzzcraft and his wife were there as well. And it's so good to see that kind of unity in our community. A great thing. And so we're really grateful to Fred Marsalis. Grateful to so many others. It was said this weekend, in fact, that we have to be intentional about the way in which we build community for all people in our city. And I'm so grateful to see that we have so many intentional people who are doing it to hopefully in time bridge every divide and let Natchez be an example to all others of how a city can work together. We've already shown it, and we're demonstrating it every day. Also, this is a great day because at 2 o'clock, we're going to break ground on something that as recently as just this weekend, pundits on the internet, who I don't know why we have these experts who don't even live here, who are not privy to the details of these business transactions. But just this weekend, they doubted that it will happen. Well, they'll have to eat crow. And I hope they enjoy the taste of crow as we, maybe they can, blacken it, season it, roast it, whatever. But they're going to have to eat some crow because at 2 o'clock today, we will break ground on what is to be a 30 million plus project, a shopping center at Tracetown, a reimagining of Tracetown, and it will be the largest retail project that has taken place in our region in over 4 decades. And involved in this is the soon to begin construction of a Hobby Lobby and other stores. And when people hear what the other stores are, they're going to be as excited or maybe more so than they are about the Hobby Lobby. And so those who are continuing to eat crow in our community, just go on and eat a lot more because the Natchez renewal is rolling along. And we are so grateful to Jimmy Smith for making this possible. And we will be with him today at 2 o'clock. That said, tomorrow is a historic day in Natchez. Tomorrow, April 9th, actually commemorates the 140th anniversary of a very historic happening in our community. That is the day that Dr. John Bowman Banks got his medical license from the Mississippi Department of Health, becoming the first Black doctor, not only in Natchez, but in the entire state of Mississippi. That's an amazing accomplishment, and it is something we celebrate tomorrow on the front steps of the Dr. Banks house. I want to invite everyone to come, but also I want to invite everyone to come as we kick off a fundraising campaign that is being conducted by the nonprofit John Banks House Museum. That nonprofit is under the auspices of Rose Hill Missionary Baptist Church, the oldest Missionary Baptist Church in the state of Mississippi that now owns the Dr. Banks House. The Dr. Banks House is a beautiful house right across from Holy Family. And if you want to see it, come out tomorrow. We're excited. The house needs some a good bit of repair in terms of controlling leaks from the roof. Water intrusion is threatening the house, and it's important we get this fixed very quickly. The church has found a roofer that actually will do this without having to remove the historic metal roof. And eventually the historic metal roof that's on the house will be restored. I'm pretty excited about this, and I hope others will be as well. That concludes my report. We now,
Mr. Mayor.
yes,
I want to add one
Alderwoman
thing
Hall.
About the John Banks House and Holy Family. It's often said that the John Banks House was the headquarters of the NAACP. Well, I do want people to know that under the leadership of Mr. Metcalf, when he was the president of the NAACP, Marjorie Barone, Father Morrissey, Ms. Bernard, and other members of this community, the NAACP met in our parish hall for many, many, many years. They also met at the White House, a restaurant owned by Miss Mamie Mazik's sister on East Woodlawn Street. So the John Banks House was not the only house that the NAACP met. So that I just want to make sure people understand that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We now will need to entertain a motion to go into an open, it's actually a closed determination for executive session that we will have in the open for the purposes of conducting interviews and having discussion pertaining to the appointment of an interim municipal judge for the city of Natchez. I'll entertain that motion at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderman Davis. Discussion? Call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. We are now in a closed determination that we're having here in the open. As I said earlier, we understand, I believe everyone has received word that our current municipal judge, Christina Doherty, has resigned effective the end of this month, April 30th. So it's very important that this board appoint an interim, and also this board will need to call for a special election that will take place later in this year. Our charter requires us to have a special election if more than a year remains in the term of a public official upon their resignation or
6 months.
departure. Is it 6 months?
6 months.
I'm so sorry. I thought it was a year. So 6 months. So I stand corrected. So for that reason, we're going to have some interviews today. We have had 4 candidates that had expressed an interest. One of those candidates did withdraw their resume, however, leaving us with 3. And so those 3 are in alphabetical order: J. Pierce Beach, Timothy Blaylock, and Terrence Hunter. And we look forward to having conversation with these 3 gentlemen shortly. That is our discussion. Any further discussion?
Call for the question.
The question has been called. We'll proceed now. Actually, you're calling to
Calling the
adjourn.
question. Oh, yeah.
So now a motion has been made to adjourn by Alderwoman Smith,
Second.
seconded by Alderwoman Hall. We'll have discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purposes that we have described. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Maroney. We'll now have discussion. Mr. Attorney, does the executive session meet the statute for our ability to have this meeting?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the hiring of a potential employee for personnel matter is an exception to the Open Meetings Act. We can go into executive session.
All right, thank you so much. We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. We now will go into executive session. Our online feed will end, but we will make a report when we come back. Thank you so much.